Could aliens be visiting us for some sinister reason? UFOs or UAPs are in everyone's minds nowadays. If these are indeed aliens, as many people believe so, what kind of aliens could they be? The majority of these events are explained as misidentified mundane objects, man-made advanced technology, or even rare atmospheric phenomena. But a small portion remains unexplained. If even one of these objects were truly extraterrestrial, what exactly could be the reason they are visiting us? Hello, I'm Dr. Alejo. Ever since I can remember, aliens have been a very popular topic. Movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind in the 70s, E.T. the Extraterrestrials in the 80s, and this year's 2026 Project Hail Mary, and many others have been extremely successful. Our fascination with aliens didn't start with movies though. Records going back as far as the 5th century before Christ tell us that people back then were already thinking that we perhaps were not alone in the universe. But nothing compares to what we are experiencing in modern days. The internet has allowed people to discuss the possibility of aliens like never before. Daily reports of strange objects in the sky doing strange things continue to showing up in our feeds. The majority of those reports can be explained, but there is a small portion that remains without explanation. Nothing, and I can't stretch this enough, nothing seems to indicate that they are aliens. But if there is even a slight chance that some of these reports correspond to alien spacecraft, what might be the intentions of those visiting aliens be? Stay with me to find out. The Fermi Paradox refers to the lack of evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations, in contrast to how quickly life originated on Earth and how common the essential blocks of life seem to be widespread in the universe. However, for some people, there is no Fermi Paradox, given that they believe that alien spaceships are already here on Earth. Notice how I use the word believe, given that there is no real tangible evidence. But if aliens are indeed in our skies, are they here on a mission to learn from us, or do they have other intentions? First of all, if we accept that they are already here, then we have to accept that they are considerably superior to us technologically. The vastness of the universe is something impossible to comprehend. If a spaceship is capable of reaching the speed of light, for instance, which is the speed limit in the universe, 300,000 kilometers per second, or 1 billion kilometers per hour, that spaceship would be able to reach the closest star system to Earth, Proxima Centauri, in 4 years. That same spaceship will reach the closest major galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, in 2.5 million years. For comparison, the fastest human-made object, NASA's Parker Solar Probe, used 7 flybys of Venus as a gravitational assist to reach a speed of 692,000 kilometers per hour in December 2024. This speed is around 0.064% the speed of light. At this speed, the Parker Solar Probe would reach Proxima Centauri in 6,300 years. This is assuming the probe could maintain the gravitational-assisted speed continuously in a straight line for the entire journey. So, at minimum, if aliens are indeed here, they will know how to travel at close to the speed of light. And I say at minimum because traveling at a significant portion of the speed of light may actually be the least exotic option, technologically speaking. This could be theoretically achieved using concepts like a light-powered spaceship using a light sail, like the one proposed by the Breakthrough Starshot initiative. But other futuristic sci-fi ways of interstellar travel are not that easy. Perhaps the favorite of sci-fi writers is wormholes, a tunnel that is capable of connecting two distant points in space-time, like in Star Wars or the movie Contact. Wormholes are not forbidden by the laws of physics, but require material known as exotic matter, something not found so far, which hypothetically possesses negative energy, which would repel gravity and hold the tunnel open. So let's assume that some of the UFOs that people report are indeed alien spaceships that have traveled thousands or perhaps tens of thousands of light years. For some obvious reason, I'm not really going to entertain the stories of UFO crashes and recovered non-human entities' bodies, given that, to me, achieving interstellar travel with all the risks, dangers, energy requirements, and technological marvels involved, it doesn't make any sense that they would end up crashing on Earth, and not just once, but multiple times. So, even traveling at a significant fraction of the speed of light, given the long distances they need to cover, would mean that these spaceships are actually either AI themselves or piloted by non-organic entities. Biological organisms are fragile. Long interstellar journeys would expose them to radiation, isolation, and timescales potentially lasting centuries or millennia. If you think about it, sending machines to explore and learn makes more sense, and that is exactly what we humans have been doing for a while now. This is evident with all the robots, rovers, and probes we have sent to explore our solar system. The farther that an actual human has been is the moon, at only 384,000 kilometers. On the contrary, our machines have reached very far away, with the Voyagers going beyond all the planets in the solar system. However, it will take them around 40,000 years to leave the solar system. Machines don't get tired or hungry, so you don't have to pack supplies such as food or water, requiring not as much fuel or room in your spaceship as if you had to. However, machines can get damaged, so they will need to potentially repair themselves. This implies that they would need to make or print on demand some of the parts that get damaged and even be able to replicate themselves. This concept of a self-healing, self-replicating machine was introduced by the mathematician and physicist John von Neumann during a series of lectures in 1948 and 1949, way before concepts such as AI and 3D printing were public domain. Physicist Frank Tipler and space scientist Robert Freitas further developed the concept in the 70s and 80s, specifically for space exploration, envisioning self-reproducing intelligent devices with interstellar capabilities. These machines could potentially travel from planetary system to planetary system and reproduce themselves using material collected from planets in that solar system. This would allow them to explore the majority of their home galaxy and even others in a matter of millions of years. Von Neumann probes could take an active role and explore, collecting data to send back to their home planet. However, such von Neumann probes could also be dormant, monitoring the planet they are visiting, waiting for some technological achievement by the inhabitants of the planet before they wake up. In the Star Trek movies and TV series, that technological achievement is when a given civilization achieves warp capabilities, or in other words, the capability of traveling faster than the speed of light. Currently not known to be physically achievable and would require exotic physics beyond anything we can engineer today. Known as the Prime Directive in the Star Trek universe, only when a civilization reaches this technological point is when they are welcomed to the United Federation of Planets.
Beverly, the Prime Directive is not just a set of rules. It is a philosophy.
Dormant type machines are known in the SETI literature as Bracewell probes. Proposed by the Australian radio astronomer Ronald Bracewell in the 1960s, these probes are hypothetical interstellar messengers and observers waiting for intelligent civilization to show up. They could have been hidden on Earth for millions of years, just waiting there until intelligence emerges. Now, we of course believe humans are intelligent. We defined intelligence. But the bar for intelligence for a civilization capable of sending one of those probes could be really high. If, for instance, and following Star Trek, they would only reveal themselves after reaching the speed of light, then we are very far away from such probes to actually come out from their secret location. So, I'm not too sure if the potential alien spaceships people believe in are this type of probes. And if they are really bad at staying hidden, given the numerous cases where they have been seen, with some people even describing lights coming out from the observed UFOs. Now, I really expect that the probes that people believe are here are not the kind that waits until the civilization of the planet they are observing becomes dangerous to all life on that planet, and then decides to start some sterilization protocol. And this brings us to perhaps the darkest possibility of all. In the most recent version of the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still, a 2008 film starring Keanu Reeves, two aliens make their presence known to humanity. One of them takes the form of a human being, and the other is a gigantic robot that can shoot lasers from his only eye. Apparently, they have become aware of how bad humans are for all life on Earth, which are on the verge of causing environmental collapse and ecological destruction of Earth's biosphere, and then decide to exterminate humans, before it is too late. The concept explored here is known as Berserker probe. Berserker probes is a concept introduced by the American science fiction and fantasy author Fred Saberhagen in his Berserker series in 1967. In this series, Berserker probes have been deployed by an ultra-advanced extraterrestrial civilization aiming to protect itself from other potentially dangerous species. If a Berserker probes find that at some point the observed civilization inhabiting a world becomes a threat to their existence, then they may deploy an advanced arsenal to essentially sterilize that world. Berserker probes are also one of the solutions to the Fermi Paradox. Perhaps a very superior and ultra-cautious race doesn't like other advanced civilization and goes around the universe destroying those that get to a certain level of technological advancement. This is also very relevant to the dark forest hypothesis, explored in the popular three-body problem in Netflix and in the book, where extraterrestrial societies choose to remain silent and hidden to avoid giving away their position in the universe, fearing that some civilization capable of sending berserker-like type probes could destroy their planet. We explored the dark forest hypothesis in more detail in a previous video. To be perfectly honest, given the difficulty of interstellar travel, I find it very unlikely that any extraterrestrial probe is currently orbiting Earth or already inside of our atmosphere. Out of all the UFO, UAP reports, around 97% are explained as misidentified mundane objects, planes, birds, globes, drones, man-made advanced technology, or other atmospheric or astronomical events, such as lenticular clouds or even the planet Venus. There is still around, though, 3% of those events that remain unexplained and are worth studying, which is literally what the Galileo project is intending to do. The brainchild of Harvard professor Avi Loeb, the Galileo project is a systematically scientific research for evidence of extraterrestrial technological artifacts. It aims to deploy an array of mesh systems consisting of low-end consumer-grade sensors and instruments monitoring the sky to collect and search for information. The extraterrestrial hypothesis is indeed a valid one. However, there are still very unknown atmospheric phenomena we don't know or understand very little. For example, ball lightning. This phenomenon is characterized by a glowing floating sphere of light which has been seen during storms. These spheres can move erratically, hover, or suddenly disappear. There is still no full explanation about how this phenomenon occurs, but they are definitely something that could be confused with UFOs of an alien nature. In any case, let's not forget the meaning of UFO. Unidentified flying object, and UAP, unidentified anomalous or aerial phenomena. Both of these terms have the word unidentified, which means we don't know yet what it is. There is a massive jump from I don't know what it is to there are definitely aliens visiting Earth. That is a jump that me personally and the entire scientific community is not willing to take. Maybe one day we will discover that one of those unexplained objects truly is extraterrestrial, but until then, science requires evidence, not assumptions. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving a like to this video. This will help the algorithm to push these videos to people like you that have a soft spot for discussing the possibility of aliens from a scientific point of view, and will definitely help to grow the channel. What do you think? Are any of the probes we talked about likely to be in our skies? Is it possible that killer probes are the ones responsible for the silence we observe? We explore in more details this silence in the Great Filter video, which I invite you to check out. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Thank you for watching and being part of this growing community. That's it for now, and remember, the truth is out there.